Alien 8 UK.
I'ma get funky. I'ma get crazy. I'ma get loose. I'ma get hazy, hazy, hazy. I'ma take a ride. 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 Take me to your leader, take me to your leader, take me to your leader. 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 Yeah, yeah. Take me to your leader. Take me to your leader.
Signal acquisition initiated. Cross-referencing anomaly archives. Pattern recognition complete. P30 online. Proceed.
Hello, welcome to Alien 8 UK on a second stream of this Friday. So I'm going to bring the guests on straight away because we have got so much to talk about. So I hope I get his name right because I'm so bad with pronunciation, as everyone knows anyway. So welcome, Luigi
Vendittelli.
Vendittelli.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, so welcome. Thank you so much for coming on at such short notice.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. Really, really do. So, first question, and you must have got, this must be like the question. How did you get involved with Bob Lazar and creating one of the best documentary movies, I'd say, ever? It's got to be. It really is up there.
Well, first of all, I never thought I was going to make a documentary of Bob Lazar. That was not the plan. That was never the reason why I wanted to reach out to him. And I've said the story a lot out there, and it's basically because I'm a merchandiser. I made products all my life. I wanted to make a flying saucer. I wanted to create a super high quality collectible die cast flying saucer so that people can have, a model of a flying saucer somewhere in their house, and it'd be like a, maybe 12, 13 inch in diameter, beautiful quality. And I thought, which one would I make? Like, where would I get information on a real one, not like some sci-fi invented one? So I thought, well, there's a few out there. There's this Bob Lazar, there's Travis Walton, there's as far as flying saucers are concerned. But I wanted information about the interior of it and not just the exterior. Because what really interests me, if I had a model, is what does it look like inside?
Yeah.
And so I thought about it, and I saw, obviously there's a lot of people that have been abducted or have had experiences, but nobody really had the time to sit there and analyze it. And Bob Lazar was the only person who had ever come out and had analyzed the interior of a flying saucer. And so I said, let me try to reach out to Bob Lazar. I did a lot of searching online, information on the sport model. There was so much information, so I wrote it all down, and I started realizing that there was a lot of conflicting information out there. A lot of people over the years, it's kind of normal, they'll say one thing and then somebody says it a different way, and then it kind of gets lost with the in translation. And so I thought, I want to have something that's accurate. So the only way for me to do that is if I get a chance to have him vet the details. So I reached out to United Nuclear in Oregon, where he has his company, and I thought, let me give it a shot. I mean, I'm a guy who's going to try to make something. I'll pitch I'll do my pitch. And I got on the phone with Zach, who works with them. I told him all who I was, what I wanted to do, and gave him a little bit of my pedigree of I've worked with big licenses and produced a lot of stuff. And I said, I'd love to have a chance to do this with him if he's not interested. So Zach was like, I don't know if he's going to want to do that. I'll let him know. And if there's anything, I'll let you know, but I doubt it. So a couple of days later, reached out to me, said, Bob checked out your website, and I gave him a spiel about what you said, and he's willing to talk to you. So I was like, okay. So, but it wasn't like a yes to do it. It was more like he's willing to talk to you. So long story short, I get on the phone with Bob Lazar a couple of days later after that. And Bob, first of all, it was really cool to be on the phone with Bob Lazar.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah.
And eventually he started basically interviewing me. He started questioning me like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, how are you going to do this? What kind of materials? What's your process? Because from what he had told me afterwards, a lot of people over the years have reached out to Bob Lazar with, we want to do this with you. We want to do that with you. And he's pretty much said no to everybody, mainly also because he said none of them really seemed like they were really that interested in doing it for real. They kind of wanted to get information out of him, but not necessarily move forward with a real project. And I basically said, I'm real. I am 100%, going to make something happen with this. We have the budget to do it. So, we were very serious. And anyway, my answers to him, my technical answers as to how I would go about and make it, impressed him. And basically I passed his test, and he said, all right. I'm like, you know what you're doing? Come and see me. So a couple of days later, I immediately bought the air ticket. A couple of days later, I'm in the plane already going out there, because it said, if I get a chance, if I'm getting an opportunity to sit with Bob Lazar and talk about the sport model, and he wants to do it, I am doing this right now.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this next week. I'm leaving right now. If there's food on the stove, somebody go turn off the stove. I'm going right now. That's how serious I was.
Yeah.
So I got a ticket, went out there. He immediately said to me when I was on at the airport, he says, don't go to United Nuclear, call Zach and you'll come for dinner at my house. I said, oh, that's great. So the first time I met him was at his house for dinner with his wife and Zach. And it's kind of a surreal experience to arrive in his house, and suddenly there's Bob Lazar cooking in the kitchen with his wife. And I was like, this is just too cool. So he's like, hey, how's it going? Would you like a beer? Would you like something? And we immediately started talking, kicking it off. And it was legitimately a very candid, very normal, beautiful evening. His wife was adorable, because I have some digestive issues, and I had mentioned that prior because I didn't want her to cook for no reason. And she was super nice to me in how she went about in making me a special meal so that I could not have problems. So we had a great night, and he kept insisting while we were having dinner. He's like, are you really sure you want to do this? He says, I mean, I'll help you. He said, I'll gladly give you some details so that way you have the right information. He says, but do you really want to do something like this? Because he goes, I don't know if people are going to be that interested, And I thought, no, you're completely wrong, And I was completely wrong. And he said, and he kept insisting, like, he goes, yeah, but he goes, I think I don't think people are going to really like want it that much where you're going to make money with it. He was concerned that I was going to spend all this money and never make my money back. And I said, look, I'm an adult. I'll make a decision, and if it doesn't work out, I'll deal with it. But I'm very confident it's going to work. And so basically, I essentially got involved, and we started it. Spent a couple of days with them. We went through every detail that we could about the sport model. We gave me measurements and dimensions and details of where things were and how they were laid out and what kind of textures and materials and all that stuff. And so for 2 days, so it was a lot of information that I took in. I wrote down notes. I wanted to record him so that I would have him recorded. So I remember taking my phone, putting it on the table, saying, "Do you mind if I record?" And he's like, "Actually, I don't want you to record." At the very beginning, he says, because a lot of people have used my stuff. I've used stuff I've said in a bad way. And I just don't want to have a recording of me, he said, because who knows what people can use eventually if it comes out. And I said, I don't mind at all. I basically wrote more notes. That was it.
Yeah.
And so I left, came back to Montreal, started the project with at the time, one of the people that was working with me was Luis Martinez. Luis has been with me for 10 years in the company here at Motivo. And it's funny because at the end, Luis ended up becoming Barry in the film. Like he ended up becoming.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
That's actually Luis. But
right.
Luis has started creating all the designs and everything according to all the information that Bob had shared so that we can get this started. And then from that, I basically built a 220 I can't remember exactly, but it's between 200 and 300 pages. It's a giant book on everything, the craft, the details, the materials, the parts. I mean, we spent a lot of time on it. And then we had a million questions for Bob because we realized while we're putting it together, we're like, oh shit, I forgot to ask him that and write a question. So that went on for a while. And then I had about 178 questions that I needed to ask him. And I called him and I said, look, I got a lot of questions. I go, but I also think that if we do it on Zoom, it's going to take too long and it might get translated wrong because sometimes when you're on Zoom versus in person, it's different.
Yeah.
But do you mind if I come back there? We'll knock it out of the park in a day and we're good. He says, sure. So I went back. And this time I brought him the book and I opened the book and I'm like, look at this. And he's like, holy shit. He was freaking out. He was like, this is way more detailed than I thought. And I thought, well, yeah.
Because you want to do it proper. You want to do a good job on it. Yeah.
So that's when I think that point was very crucial because he really saw how serious I was to really get the details correctly. And he got interested in that. He says, finally, he says, this is really good. He says, you're doing a better job than John Andrews did back then when he did the testers model in 1994, because they had a plastic testers model that is still available on eBay nowadays. And I mean, John Andrews did a great job with the testers model, but there was still a lot of stuff that was left a little bit rough around the edges. And I wanted to get everything accurate, and I wanted to build it like a professional metal die-cast model. So, if you make a plastic mold, it's very expensive. If you make a metal mold, it's extremely expensive. So there's a big difference. So I didn't want to make any mistakes. So that's why I was being very careful. And anyway, so we spent another couple of days. He answered all my questions, gave me all the information. And I said to him, what would be really cool? I said, if we make this model, we can not only make the model look professional, but we can also get the model in a box that looks like the hangar that it was in. So, make the box look like the hangar. And so I needed information on the hangar. And basically, everything was starting to come out of Bob. It was like, the hangar looked like this, the walls, there was number 41 on the wall there. And there was all these mercury vapor lights. And so we started, I wanted to just create a box. When I came back, I hired a couple of 3D artists to create me an Unreal, and in Unreal, they created the hangar, while I had another group of people making the craft in Blender. So we were working on Unreal Engine and Blender. Blender was being used for the craft. Unreal Engine was being used for the environment where the craft was going to be.
Yep.
And then, to make a long ass story real short, I said to Bob, I said, look, what if we built the whole thing? What if we just went crazy and just built the whole base, the craft, the other crafts, everything, the Papoose Lake, outside, the terrain, the landscape? And he says, but what for? And I said, I don't know yet. I just know that I could do it because you're trusting me to do this. I would go beyond just a craft, and maybe we'll make a VR experience where people could go around it. But what's important is I feel like I'm cataloging something important, that I'm building something through your recollection that is really critical. And basically, I got started on that after the second trip. I basically released the budget to do it, because it's a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
And got a whole team, hired a whole bunch of people from all over the world. I had people in Lithuania, Japan, Sweden, Finland, Great Britain. There was actually a guy from Great Britain, Canada, from everywhere. And we started building S4, and we did. And eventually we got to a point where we were like, I remember thinking, this is really wild. The quality is really good. And it kept getting better and better. And I said, what if we make a documentary on S4, just S4?
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I'm cutting it short, but Bob saw how serious I was and how much I was going to want to do it. We basically showed him some of the pieces that we were building, and he said, okay. He goes, if you want to do that, it's up to you. And then the history, and then everything is history.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we did it. I never made a film before. I'm extremely diligent in how painstakingly difficult details are. So I'm very diligent in how making sure everything is accurate. Yeah. And a little bit to my detriment, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to create almost like a historical document, a visual historical document of a place and an experience that none of us could go visit.
Yeah.
So
that's completely out of bounds, and I think that's why I loved it more, because I read the media kit that you sent me. It's like you spent 3 years doing digital 3D printing. Thereabouts, was it?
The craft took 3 years. The base took 4 years. The Papoose mountain range landscape, all that took about 1.5 years. So it's like all different people working. So building the Honda, also the Honda jet car, we built 100%, which was not expected. That took a long time. We literally have the car. It's 100% real size.
Did you say, is it to scale?
Oh, 100%.
Car.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
So we did, and I mean, we spent in the 7 figures, in building all this. So it was a huge project, and none of us, especially me, had any idea what we're gonna make out of it. I thought maybe I'm never gonna make my money back. Maybe this is just, that's it. I did a crazy thing, and I hope people like the film, and then the film came out and hit #1. So I couldn't have been more happy. So yeah.
It's just so fascinating. I think everything, because you was you with him like 24/7 when you was interviewing?
Oh yeah,
constantly, and it's just you was like in and out of each other's pockets, sort of thing. But the detail, because when I'm watching it, I'm like, this is 3D print. How am I watching this? It's 3D print.
Oh, it's 3D design, not print.
Oh, I thought it was 3D print. Sorry.
No, it's
The whole 3D. Ah,
3D
gotcha.
design. Oh yeah,
Even
that's
so,
yeah,
so even watching it in 3D design, it's
yeah.
like technically it's kind of not real, but it looks probably more real than real
Oh,
life. It's
I,
just
I can tell you, I could say that, I've learned a lot because I never had done that before. Now I have like
Yeah.
5 years experience in doing this. So I consider myself a much more, I wouldn't say I'm a pro, but as the people on my Christopher Matteau on my team is not just a pro, but I think he's the best at this. But
Yeah.
when it comes to 3D modeling and 3D environments and design, it's evolved so much, even in the years that we were doing it, that
Yeah.
it's, in my opinion, the absolute it's absolute reality in a different dimension. Because if you go into the 3D environment, the way the light affects things, the way the sound affects things, it's 100% like real. So, everything from textures, materials, luminosity, lighting, and all that, it's like real.
got me as well. I
Oh,
don't
wait.
want to give too much away
There.
from
Okay.
people that haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Because you do a lot of the Google imaging when you're like looking over like Groom Lake and that.
Yeah.
And you pinpoint the slanted shutters. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, so while we were making this, people have to, like, whoever has not seen the film,
Watch it.
although
You
I
gotta
don't
watch
like
it.
telling people you should go see my film, because I don't want to, this is not like a sales pitch to send people
No.
to watch my film. If people don't want to pay for it, you could get it for free on a torrent site, I'm sure. So go check it out. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop that. But basically, what you'll see in the film is the fact that during the time we were making this, somebody was able to contact me and had analyzed a series of photographs that were taken by a private pilot back in 2020 who was given permission to fly within the restricted airspace within Area 51 and the Nevada test site on December 25th, 2020. So on that day, the pilot, his name is Gabriel Zeifman, he has a small Cessna plane, his own plane, was flying on the outskirts of it in the permitted airspace and requested, he said, he had a big camera with a big scope on board, requested, can I fly in? And they granted him okay, which is 100% unheard of. Okay, like we're talking once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't think they're going to do that again. And so he flew in and he took pictures of his cockpit where you see the map there where he's at, and it says restricted zone, like, so he's there, and he's taking pictures of Area 51, Groom Lake, the whole area with a super good camera. So like beautiful pictures. And at a certain point, he gets very close to Papoose Lake, takes pictures, does a whole turn around the Nevada test site. He takes pictures of where the craters are, where they used to do the bomb. They used to blow up bombs out there, and got to another angle on the northern edge of the base, where from his position in the airplane, he was able to see a clear shot of the hill where S4 is supposed to be and Papoose Lake to the right. He was exactly 17 miles away, but with the long scope on his camera, he got a series of very high quality pictures. And 17 miles or not, the scopes will capture good quality on the frame.
Yeah.
And basically caught, I don't remember how many pictures. The total amount of images that he put out there were like 900. So he took a lot of pictures. But when he took the pictures of the S4 hill, he did that to disprove Bob Lazar, believe it or not. His goal was to show that there was nothing there. That was his goal. So he came out, put the pictures public on a Dropbox. They're still available. They're still out there. And everybody could download them. There's like 900 pictures. And they're all super high quality, 50, 60 megs a picture. So you could see a lot of beautiful details. And he was saying, look, there's nothing there. Anybody who wants to dispute it, look, you can clearly see, I don't see any doors. I don't see any tracks, blah, blah, blah. Which at first view, yeah, doesn't look like there's anything there. But he was also 17 miles away from a hillside where the U.S. Navy built a facility to not be seen. So not only is he 17 miles away, but the facility camouflaged into the side of the hill, was built to be camouflaged. So you wouldn't expect it to have like a sign going, it's right here. It's not
flashing neon light pointing down. Yeah.
You're not in the red light district of, Amsterdam. It's not clear. Okay. Yeah. So basically, he put those pictures out, and for a long time, people said, as you could see, there's nothing there. Now, this person contacted me. His name is Scott Mitchell. He goes out as the name Weisberger online and says, look, I have analyzed a series of images from Gabriel Zeifman. One of them in particular clearly showed the hangar doors. And I said, well, I had seen the pictures. I had never saw that before. How did you get that? He says, well, you have to play with the images. You take the raw image, you play with the values and the contrast and until you get to a result. And he showed me. And I was like, wow. I mean, it was very, very clear. Now, when you see it in the film, look, when I say it was very clear, I want to make something very clear right now on this is also a lot of people commented, it's not that clear. It's still grainy. Well, yes, of course it's grainy. I'm not saying it's clear like it's a 4K image. What I'm saying is you can clearly see.
You can see the lines, the squares, the rectangles. Yeah.
Geometric.
I struggled at first when you was pointing it out, when you and Bob was sat there talking. I'm like, I can't see shit. Yeah. So I'm like, but then when you talk and then you go back and you do the little light, as soon as you did the first line on it,
and you see
the contrast, I could see all the others straight after. Yeah, because
and
the first one is the big hangar.
That's
and
right.
All the others are like that out as you go across. Yeah.
And I mean, look, the reality is this is it's like I make a joke with this all the time, because they're clearly there. The geometric shape is there. It's not a natural formation. It's not pixelation. It's not anything except something is there in the side of that hill. Yeah. When people complain, well, that's pretty it's not that clear. If you go get an ultrasound of your bladder, it's not that clear. Okay. No. So it's not, you're not seeing a 4K image of your bladder. You're seeing what you can see through this image image. So you need a doctor to sometimes go, no, I could see it clearly. And then you go, I can't. Well, whenever you're doing forensic analysis of something, you absolutely have to be recognizing its forensic analysis and not photo enhancement. It's different. So
you've got to look for the little bits, little bits of detail that change what is it you're looking at.
Yeah. But they're there.
Like
so the doors are absolutely
70 miles away. It's not like you stood 20 foot away taking photos.
Exactly. So it's important. Yeah.
So next question. I'm going to throw it now before I forget.
Sure.
So I don't expect you to answer completely, but did Bob tell you anything that you're not allowed to repeat?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, it was not. It's not like we were hoping. And I want to say something to anybody listening. I'm not the typical blue baller like a lot of these blue ballers in the, I know stuff, but I can't tell you. Or I know, stop blue balling us, fucking annoying. But I can't say certain stuff simply because, first of all, it actually would get him in trouble, number one.
Yeah.
I think, and it has nothing to do with UFOs. Okay, there's information that he gave me that had to do with his background and his position at Los Alamos and what he had to do at MIT. That is actually a problem if we release that publicly, because we're releasing information that he signed a document saying I can't put that public. So it's like Apple coming up with a new design. Well, somebody has to sign going, I'm never going to tell anybody until it's launched, something like that. So otherwise you go to court and you're screwed and you get sued, whatever. So that's important. So he did say something like that to me, which was very clear, and it made a lot of sense to me in how it confirmed, or sorry, it appeased and satisfied my curiosity about, or my doubts in regards to him having gone to MIT or not. And that piece of information was critical for me to better understand why we can't find any records of him at MIT and why he doesn't talk about it. It's a clearly, it's actually simple. It's not complicated. And all I can say is has to do with national security, the Department of Defense, and lawyers that basically lock people into lifelong non-disclosure
It's
contracts.
just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it. So he says, look, and so of course it's annoying to hear from a guy like me, like who's this guy Luigi saying he knows something but he can't tell us. I can't, or I could, but then I would ruin my relationship. You know, and so
it's that trust has gone.
Why would I do that?
Away.
And so he told me stuff like that. There's not really a lot of other stuff that he told me that I can't say. I will say that we had to remove the film was highly edited to make it digestible for 2 hours. Otherwise, it would be a 7-hour film. I mean, there's So what I can also say is that we have a tremendous amount still to put out there. So it's not the last thing you'll see from us regarding Bob Lazar and S4. We have something cooking, okay?
Yes.
And it will certainly be really good and really interesting.
Excellent.
So there's a lot more to come.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that was one of my other questions that I had for you.
Yeah, a lot more to come. Yeah.
So did you at any point think, when you decided what you was going to do, or when you started doing it, did you not think, what if they start knocking on my door? Did that ever cross your mind?
If they come and knock on my door?
Yeah, these 3-letter agencies or any of that. Well, did that not ever worry you?
Bob always warned me. I mean, it's funny because when I first started with Bob Lazar, the second trip, that was not the first trip, but when I went back, when I told you that I went back with this book and all that stuff, his wife had to go to California. So it was just me and him at the house for like 3 days. Yeah. And 2 or 3 days, I can't remember. And he sat me down, I'll never forget. And he goes, you sure you want to go through with this whole thing? It's like, it's becoming more than a model. We're getting, to other stuff. You sure you want to do this? Because once you do this, you're associating yourself to me, and that will probably not help your career or help your reputation. Are you sure? And he kept insisting, are you sure you want to do this? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I'm here. I want to do it. But he made it sound like it was going to be very detrimental to my personal and professional life. And he said, look, you never know what could happen. I'm just letting you know, once you go down this road, you're kind of stuck here, Yeah. And I did this willingly. And I said, sure. Yeah, I'm willing to do it. Now, in the years that I worked on this, I have had issues. I had my bank try to shut me down. I had people, I had 5 voice calls that were life-threatening. I don't know who it was. Oh, so, they kept on calling me, hey, Vendittelli, you're already you're already underground. They kept saying they would call me in the middle of the night. Nobody ever calls in the middle of the night. So I would pick up because thinking maybe something happened. And it would be this guy with an Eastern European voice going, you're already underground. We're coming to get you. And I've been around the block in life a few times. I'm Italian, so it's hard to it's kind of a hard thing to convince me that you're coming to kill me. So
Yeah.
I don't believe that crap. That's just like intimidation. If you wanted to really kill me, you would just do it. You're not
Yeah,
going to.
there'd be no phone calls. No.
Why bother? So I never really made that much out of it, to be honest. It's not like I'm like, okay, whatever. But there were a few weird things that happened, and I obviously attribute it to the fact that I was working on this film, because I've never had anything like that happen to me in my life before, like weird things. I don't want to get into all of them because it makes it sound like I'm conspiratorial or I'm trying to get attention on the fact that, there was dangers against me. I don't want to say that. But now that the film is out, well, whoever wanted to hurt me, fuck you. So, you know, that's the way I look at it. So,
no, totally get it. Get it.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and George Knapp's in it as well.
Oh,
did you get to chat with him?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got to interview George Knapp at his house. I got to interview him. I got to spend quite a bit of time on and off, and we had a full interview period in Las Vegas with him at his house, which was great, by the way. I mean, I consider George Knapp to be George Knapp doesn't get enough praise for what he did, if you want my opinion. George is genuinely one of the only real investigative journalists of that time, of that era in the 80s, that really put his name out there investigating this topic. Not just Bob Lazar. Obviously, he's the guy who wrote the story about Bob Lazar.
Yeah, but I've got a book, Skinwalkers of the Pentagon. There's a couple more that I've got of his on Audible, but can't think what they are off the top of my head. But it's just, like you said, he's put his name to so much stuff. Doesn't really pop up anywhere.
I think he's an incredibly deserving journal. He deserves a lot of praise for everything he's done over the years. He's risked a lot over the years, and he still comes under attack consistently from people. I find it very sad and unfortunate that a lot of these people that are coming out nowadays still accuse George of falling in a trap with Bob Lazar, like, where people don't believe Bob Lazar. So they say, oh, George is either grifting on it or he's trying to push this fake story. That's complete bullshit. Like, that's not George Knapp.
You see all the Emmys. Is it the Emmys that he's won? He's got like a full shelf of them. He's not going to get them for chatting BS, is he?
Exactly. So I mean, he's got multiple Emmy awards. He's got a tremendous amount of work that he's done, and it's verifiable. Very incredible work. He's covered the mob in Las Vegas for years. I mean, that's a big deal. He's got, like, he had live, real, active mobsters who trusted him in those circles to report on it.
Because he got in with them, didn't he? To, like,
big fucking deal. I mean, that's a big deal. So it's not like not everybody gets to do that. So I have a massive amount of respect for him for that. And I find it's unfortunate that because he chose to say the truth about Bob Lazar, because he investigated it, he got to see and meet people that supported the story, even though they never went public because they were scared to go public, but they were absolutely supporting and validating what Bob Lazar had said. And so there was people accusing George Knapp of not doing proper journalism or investigations, or trying to basically blow up this story more than it would have. That's completely ridiculous. George deserves a fucking Pulitzer Prize for having done what he's done. Okay, that's my opinion. So he's now getting closer and closer to retiring age. I can see that. I've spoken to him multiple times. I think he's at a point in his life where he wants these things to kind of like tone, like he's done what he had to do. It's interesting though that he still has he's still involved also, because holy shit, look at what we're seeing in the news. I mean, Congress is talking, the president is talking, the vice president is talking. It's crazy. I mean, the Secretary of Wars is talking about this. The Secretary of State is talking about this. This is a different time, man. And regardless of whether the videos or whatever they're putting out are good evidence pieces or not, the fact that we are having the conversation that the United States government is in possession, or United States government and its defense contractors are in possession of vehicles that were created by somebody else, not human, whether they be alien, extraterrestrial, interdimensional. We have no idea, but they were not made by human beings, and that we have been actively attempting to reverse engineer this technology in ultra secret programs. That conversation is actually being discussed openly. That's a gigantic deal. Okay, so I'm definitely hoping that George gets called in one day by the White House. He's the one guy who should be, he should be the guy brought in to have a conversation with some of the higher ups. Maybe he has and he can't talk about it, but I certainly believe that there's a lot of praise that should be sent out to George Knapp.
Yeah. So I was watching a video earlier today of one of the ex-presidents. Begins with the letter O. Yeah. The guy who kind of like kickstarted this off a few weeks ago when he said, well, we have got them, but I've never seen one, and this, that, and the other. He's now come out and he's saying, yes, they do exist. Yes, they do have them. Where they are, I can't tell you. What we've got, I can't tell you, but they are real. Yeah. And this is probably done in the last couple of months, this video, but I've only just seen it today. So,
I mean, you should also know that right now, as we speak, I don't know when it's going to come out, but Barack Obama is actually producing a film about Betty and Barney Hill's abduction.
Really?
Yeah. You can look it up. Okay? So Barack Obama is producing a film about alien abductions. That's a big fucking deal. Nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I know because I've heard it through the grapevine. I also know that I believe he's communicated with Kathleen Martin, who happens to be.
Yes. I've interviewed her a couple of years ago.
She's a wonderful woman.
Amazing Kathleen
woman. She's done incredible work. She deserves a lot of praise as well. She's been involved in this for many, many years. And I think Barack Obama also chose to make that film because back in those years, in the 60s, he was African-American, she was white, and they were a couple. And that was not the right time in the world to go as a multiracial couple in public and say, we got abducted by aliens. I mean...
And weren't he a councillor as well, who's on the committee, the local government?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So I mean, he was a civil servant.
Yeah,
so straight away.
Absolutely, super
throwing loads of stuff in the mix that at that time shouldn't have been done.
That to me, that event is a very important event. Whatever happened to Betty and Barney Hill certainly happened. I'm very confident of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that Barack Obama is covering it is great. I just hope that when it comes out, it's not only highlighting the fact that there was a interracial couple, but that it also highlights the reality that something weird happened.
Well, yeah, because Kathleen, I remember her saying that her mom herself, was it her sister, her younger sister, or somebody else, and another one of her aunties were all regular contactees or abductees.
That's right.
So it's a constantly going since
which is normal.
Can remember as being a kid. Yeah,
which is actually it tracks perfectly with abductees. Yeah.
So wow, I just hope he does it justice. Like you said, he just needs to.
I hope so too.
Like what you've done with Yeah, like what you've done with Bob, you give it
Yeah.
everything. Don't
Yeah.
start twisting the truth and putting
Exactly.
stuff in there that shouldn't go in there. There's too much of that going on as it is. So, yeah.
I find that we have to stop doing that now. I find, and this is actually something I say all the time, and that's why my film was made the way it was made. And I had a lot of pushback from studios who wanted to get their hands involved and change the way we put the story out there, because everybody wants drama. You know, everybody wants drama. Everybody wants this happened, and then they want the other side going, no, this has not happened. This did not happen. They want to see fighting going on between that it happened or not, didn't happen. Look, we're never going to get anywhere if we do that. We're never going to get anywhere. It's either we accept, all right, if this happened, let's assume it happened, which I believe it has. But if it happened, exactly what happened? What exactly happened? That's the way I look at it. So let's make the right choices and investigate it accurately. So whatever is being said is put out there accurately. That's very important.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I've just got a bit of a tickly cough. Do apologize.
No problem.
So, no, it's right. I'm just like keep going back to the movie, because you even say to him, you say to Bob about, or he says to you, about the non-believers and all that, and he's like, I'm not bothered. I don't expect anyone to believe anything. I've said it as it is, and that's it. I'm not, and he's never ever, from the first time I heard about Bob and watched a lot of his stuff, read a lot of books with him in it and being mentioned, he's never ever changed his story.
Never.
Nothing. It's always been straight down the line.
Absolutely. 100%. Always kept the story's always been the same, and Bob has never been concerned if people believe him or not. It has never been something that bothered him. He always said, if you don't want to believe it, it's fine by me. It's not like I have to make you believe it. Well, if you don't believe it, fine. Don't believe it.
Yeah,
it goes,
that's down to you. Yeah.
You know, that's the way I would, if I know something, let's say I know something happened to me when I was like 20 years old, and I tell you a story and you say to me, I don't believe it. I'll be like, okay. Like,
you don't have to. Yeah.
You don't have to. I don't care if you don't believe it.
I've had all different things happen. I've seen stuff and experienced stuff, and I've said a lot, most of 99% of it on here. Whether anyone believes me or not, that's down to them. I'm not going to change my story just because someone thinks, did it really happen? But then I always question myself. And the first thing I do, did that really just happen? Did I just see that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm the first person to.
I question.
Question straight away.
Well, I mean, it's another thing about Bob Lazar, and I don't know if I think it's seen in a couple of the older interviews. He said from the very beginning, I wouldn't believe my own story if I was somebody hearing this from the other side. I wouldn't believe the story either. He says, I understand that it sounds unbelievable because I probably wouldn't believe it myself. He's never hidden. He's not like trying to tell you, no, you need to believe this. No, this is the real, like, okay.
Yeah, he comes, so you'll know better than us, but the way he comes across, you can see how genuine he is, because he said, like, when he first walks into the hangar and he touches the craft and he goes, and I got absolutely reprimanded for that. But if I didn't do it, because he didn't know he was going inside the craft at that point.
Yeah.
So then is it Dennis, his supervisor?
Yeah, correct.
And he's like, he was only allowed in the lower and the middle section. He wasn't allowed to go up where all the instruments and all that were. But just, it's like they always had, that Dennis was always there to make sure that obviously that they're not going off looking at stuff with messing about with things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah,
that's how it came across.
Well, exactly, but it wasn't just Dennis; it was security. He said the security. In fact, a lot of the security information we didn't really overemphasized in the film, but I will say that the conversations we had with him on multiple occasions, he always laughed sometimes when I said, when you were in the hangar, can you tell me what was on the left side when you were, looking at the craft? What was on the left side? You remember any tools or anything? And he would answer, he goes, you're not understanding. He goes, I couldn't look elsewhere. He said, we had guards near us all the time. It felt, he said, it was a horrible place to be, because he goes, the only cool stuff was the flying saucer. But other than that, he felt like it was a prison. So, you have a guard with you all the time. You go to the washroom, there's a guard there watching you pee. Like it's ridiculous. Like there's security all the time. And he said that was very detrimental. It was a very stressful and unpleasant place to be. That's what would probably happen if you're bringing in somebody into this highly secured area. That's like prison. In prison, nobody's roaming around, going around. Like, no, they're escorting you there. So that's pretty much, the reality. So it's he doesn't have fond memories of S4. He has fond memories. Sorry, it's not fond memories. He says he has regrets sometimes that he opened his mouth. He says,
because he says that at the beginning, doesn't he? Right in the first scene. Yeah.
Says, maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut and I would have still been there by, all this time. Yeah. But he says, he even said, he goes, maybe I'm the asshole who put this out there. Maybe this should have been quiet. I consider him to be not the asshole here. I think that he did the right thing. I think he back in 1989, going public with a story like this is possibly one of the most courageous things you can do, because that was really not well received back then. If you talk about flying saucers and the government having them, that's so far out. That was so far out there.
The Cold War was still going on back then.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot, obviously, everything else that was happening as well around the world.
That's right.
So, you can get his point. But the main bit, I know I said I was hooked from the beginning, but the thing that like proper hooked me and got me was like, I've got to watch this, was when he goes to the doorway in the mountains with the camera above it. He goes in, there's military security sat at the desk. He does the handprint and it does the density of the bone and all that kind of stuff. So it knows exactly who it is. And he walks down the corridor, he goes and sees the medic. He's the only female that he says that he's seen in there. Right. And he goes into this corridor and it just goes as far as the eye can see. He goes, but I never ever went past the big hangar. That was my turning point. Right. After that, I have no idea what was. He could have made so much stuff up about that.
Yeah. And he never did.
No one would know.
That's right.
Than the other people that work there, but he didn't. That's right. He was like, I don't know what was down there. Yeah. I never got to go. I just got to see the corridor and the lights, and that was it. So that was like, wow.
Of course, because I mean, when I spoke to him, look, I had an opportunity to be up close and personal with Bob so many times. I mean, we've become friends now, but I have not one time ever felt like he was making it up. Not one time. Not even once. Okay? And I paid attention. I was looking. I was trying to see, is there
the body signs?
Yeah, is there anything that gives me the impression that maybe he's giving me some bullshit story? Not once. The only things that I did feel, and I say it openly, and Bob knows it, is he's omitting information. He's not saying all of it. Okay?
No.
That I'm 100% sure of that. So but I don't get upset for that. I don't care.
But it's like you said, if he was to say the stuff that he told you in confidence, maybe it's the same sort of thing. He got told stuff in confidence, and it might ruin them. It's going to drag them into this ball game.
Right.
and it's going to mess their lives up, and they don't want that. So I get that. It's like anyone that tells you a secret in total trust. You don't say anything to anyone. Not if you're a true friend, anyway.
And then, you know, and I'll say another thing, and this is something that's really important as well. And this is addressed to a lot of the naysayers out there who are always attacking Bob Lazar. If you constantly attack somebody, doesn't matter who. It doesn't. Not just. I'm not talking about anybody. If somebody is constantly being attacked, okay, eventually that person no longer cares about the attackers.
Yeah.
It becomes like, all right, look, whatever. Like, because nothing ever satisfies the naysayers. You know, when we went on Joe Rogan, it's funny because I do have one thing that made me laugh with the naysayers. We went on Joe Rogan, and Bob Lazar said, look, I don't make any money from this. He had told me, he goes, I want to make that clear, because he goes, people think I'm making all this money from this. I'm not. I want to make sure that people understand this was your project. You decided to invest the money in it. And I said, sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I understand that. And Bob said, look, I'm not benefiting financially from this at all. And I can say he's never requested one penny from me ever in 5 years. He and his wife paid their own air flights to Montreal on a few occasions. Yeah. They paid their own flight to Las Vegas. They paid for their own hotel. Like, they were always saying, no, we got this. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, is that grifting? Like, what the hell? You know.
No.
So what happens is that when we went on Rogan and he said that, I saw these people on X write, all right, fine. He's not in it for the money. He's in it for being popular. And it's like, all right, so you can't win. You can't win. It's like a never-ending.
How in it from being popular?
First of all, the guy never likes to be on camera, and they, you know, people are like, oh, you look at him, he's doing Joe Rogan and Chris Ramsey and Area 50, American Alchemy. Well, what a lot of people don't know is how many interviews I had to say no to because Bob didn't want to do, and some were really big. Okay. Wow. Not small time. They were Rogan level.
Yeah.
Interviews, and he said, no, I'm not doing it. So if that's the characteristics of a liar, manipulator, grifter, whatever, then I have no idea what the hell a grifter is. Then I have no clue what they're trying to refer to, because I don't know.
He'd be doing them all. And for popularity, he's been saying this, like you said, from the late 80s. We're like nearly 40 years on from there. Well, we are 40 years on.
Yeah.
So I don't think being popular is the top of his to-do list, is it?
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. Like, when I hear people say that, I'm like, what are you talking about? It has nothing to do with that. So, you know, I've been wanting to take Bob out in other interviews. Like, I've asked him, I said, you know, because it would benefit my film. I would make more money.
Yeah.
You know, I always told Bob, I said, hey, you know, if we did that interview, it would probably bump sales a little bit. And I would, you know, we would, and he's like, he goes, I'm sorry, Luigi. He goes, I've done, you know, the interviews and I don't want to do any more. And I respect that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But it's like, he knows that this would make more money, but he's done. He doesn't like it. He doesn't enjoy.
No. Well, you know Jim Goodall from Skunkworks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I've become good friends with Jim, and he's been on the show a few times. And I even messaged him and said, because he was saying about Bob, one, can you just ask him if he would come on? He goes, I will. And anyway, he got back to me. He's like, Bob will not do interviews for anybody, no matter what. And this was only a couple of years ago. It's like, fair enough. If you don't ask, like you were,
of course,
when you was doing the documentary in the dying cast model, if you don't ask, you don't get. What's the worst that can happen? No, I'm not doing it. Or no, I'm not interested.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So it would be nice, but I'm not.
I'll even say something else. You guys are gonna freak out. This is something that just recently happened, and I was like, so when we created the They're Here poster, from the film.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
They're Here poster. So we created a They're Here poster, which we sell on our website. You could buy it on wearenotalone.com or projectgravitaur.com, and we have the They're Here poster, which is a perfect replica of the poster that was at S4. Joe Rogan put the poster up on his set. It's right next to the Rogan logo. And there's the They're Here poster. So we're selling posters. We're selling the They're Here poster. Now, I told Bob, I said, look, people want your autographs. So we're selling signed versions and not signed versions. But when they're signed, Bob signs them. We had some shipped to him. He rolls up a whole bunch, puts them in a tube, and sends us like 20, 30 at a time that are signed, and we ship them out. But I said to him, I said, if you'd like, you could put the They're Here poster on your website and keep the money if you could sell them, because you could sign them and ship them to people. So he's been doing that. And the other day I had a Zoom with him and his wife, and I said, by the way, how are the They're Here poster sales? And he said, forgot to tell you. He says, we started refunding a lot of those orders. I said, what? He said, yeah, we started refunding a lot of those international orders or signed orders. He says, because we just don't have the time. I don't have the time to do this. So I apologize, Luigi, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take those orders. And I'm like, so he's refunding people. Okay. He's not just saying, no, I won't do it. He's giving them their money back. That's a big red flag. That should be a big red flag to the naysayers. Because it's like, they wouldn't do that. All these guys attacking Bob Lazar would just start refunding money to people.
I know.
Okay. Really?
Well, then they're going to turn around and go, oh, but he's doing it for attention. There's always going to be something in there.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean,
pathetic. Yeah, just ignore him.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Wow. So next question, because we've not got long left. So you say like you do on the merchandise that. Did you actually make the die-cast models of the sports model?
So what we have is a semi-completed file of a die-cast model versus the real craft design that we have. We have the real thing. Okay. So we are going to eventually, it'll be the last piece of Project Gravitaur. It will be the die-cast model. So what we want people to be able to do is take it apart. Okay. So we want people to have an opportunity to look inside, because if it's sealed, even if you could see inside, it's kind of boring. I want you to be able to like take it apart and see how it looks like inside.
A bit like Lego.
Exactly. So I want people to have the opportunity to play around with that. And so that will absolutely happen. It'll be the last portion of Project Gravitaur. And I want to make sure that it is super high quality so that it really is a collector piece out there.
Yeah. And do you ship to the UK?
Oh yeah. It'll ship internationally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Undeniable.
Good.
Yeah. Undeniable.
So just make sure you let me know as soon as it's available. I'm going to buy one.
Undeniable.
At least one.
Undeniable. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Wow. So have you got? I know you said you've got these more stuff coming out with the stuff that you edited out, and you're going to be doing things with that. Have you got any plans like moving forward with this? Not just with Barbara George, but keeping in with the UFO field, I suppose.
Yeah, we're going to be making. We are already on track to begin putting together the. We're going to be making a new film. Okay. We actually have a couple of films that we already have signed up to do because this did so well. So we don't know which one will come out first, but we can tell you that the first one is going to most likely be the Ariel School incident in Africa, where we will recreate it visually. So everything is visual recreation.
Yeah.
With the witnesses and interviews with the people that were there. And the second one will be with Travis Walton. It'll be a Travis Walton recreation exactly like he saw. Not like the movies that we saw fire in the sky. It'll be 100% exactly what Travis.
Just pure him.
Yeah. So we are working on more films, and I'm very happy to say that. And I'm going to make sure that they are equally valuable in visual quality, so that whenever you're seeing it, not only is it beautiful, but it's accurate. So that so if ever somebody asks what happened, well, go see the movie, and you'll
Because the other thing, and I wasn't sure you was going to mention it. All I'm going to say is the top hat. So when he's looking at and he sees a different, and it's like, what the hell? And then I thought, are they going to say anything? And it was like a minute, nothing. Then like 2 minutes, and then it's all right. Yeah, that's all right then. Because sometimes you a lot of the TV documentaries, should we say, they'll like Skinwalker and all, they'll start talking about something, and then it just cuts off. You don't ever hear anything about it again.
Right.
But you guys stick right the way through, and like you said, every little bit of detail is pointed out, and
well, I mean,
you're made aware of.
Yeah, I feel that that's something that was missing in this space, if you want my opinion. I think if we are to evolve and have more transparency from the government, more transparency from whistleblowers, and have more time to really assess what people have seen, it's important that visuals match exactly what they saw, and that we address what they saw. We don't just skim over it like, oh yeah, I saw black craft look like a triangle. Okay, no, wait, what do you mean? What kind? What size? What? Where? How far was it? What did it sound like? Whatever.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very important time to start doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like I said to you before, and I've said to people in the chat last week and week before, that the way it's done, it's like a book. You get, because obviously when you're writing it, you can put as much detail in it as you want, but when you're recreating it for visuals, it's a lot more difficult.
Yes.
But it was just like I said, it was just like the visuals of a book. And I'm going to refer to Timothy Good, Above Top Secret, because he talks a lot about Bob Lazar in that. And it was like, there's enough for me. It didn't feel like there's, even though he said there's a lot of editing, it didn't feel like there's anything or very little was missed out.
Well, I'm glad that you liked it, and I'm glad that you saw that, because that's how I wanted this film to go. I wanted it to be easy to understand, easy to follow, visuals to support it. So nothing is confusing, nothing is nebulous, nothing is like, there's no gray zones. It's very clear. Now, I can assure you that there is more to it. I guarantee you that, so there's a lot of stuff that we didn't put in there because we thought, okay, the second we mention something, you have to give at least 5 minutes of, air in it so that people could see and stuff. So if you start adding it up, it becomes really big. And so for that reason, we feel very, very, very confident that what's is gonna fill in a lot of gaps.
Because as soon as, because I'm like, right, when he mentions element 115, I thought, right, this is going to be a massive, massive section, but it wasn't. But like you said, it was just
enough. Yeah.
We believe that this is what it's for, and if you add so many grams of it, it's enough to enough fuel for like 30 to 40 years, was it, or something like that? And it just slots in, and the dome goes over the top of it, and the three things all connect. And I believe that's how it works. And it was like, and that was pretty much it. And it's like, because I was like, as soon as he starts talking about that, my head's just gonna go to mush. I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna have to keep watching it over and over and over. And it's like straight away, I'm like, oh my god, that was so simple. I know, like you've just said, there's a lot more detail in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's not as simple as that, as anyone the writer would know. But it was just so easy.
But the reality is that for some reason, and this is where this is actually as accurate as you could say it, that technology is so simple. It's so it has no buttons. There's no lights. There's no heat. There's no sound. It's just functioning.
Oh.
So even he said, he goes, there's really not much else that I could say because that's what it was doing. We didn't understand how it was doing it.
Yeah.
It would be the equivalent of, here we are let's say we go back, you and I go back to 1985, okay? And I take a Bluetooth speaker and I'll bring my cell phone, even though there's no tower for the cell phone to connect. If I have my Bluetooth speaker and my phone, and I got my chargers for both of them, we could, in front of everybody, nobody has ever seen this
downloaded stuff on it. Yeah.
Plug in and it'll Bluetooth connect to the speaker, and everybody's going to go, what the hell is going on? Right? So everybody will be
but that was literally what was happening with the
that's right. So and that's the thing, is everybody is going to be super amazed. Oh my God, how is that working? If you ask somebody back in 1985, how was that working? They're going to say, I don't know. It was just working. It was just connecting. I can't tell how that. So that's similar to the to technology and the craft. We just don't know what it was doing. It's working, but how it's doing it, that's a completely different thing.
It connects. Yeah. Because my big thing at the moment is frequency, and I just believe that these frequencies that we know absolutely nothing about, and that's possibly what's being used to. But not just that, but other things that are going on that are making that connection, including like telepathy and all that kind of stuff. So,
I mean, I think everything does have something to do with frequency or waves, vibration, like all that stuff. I do believe that. I'm on the same page with you there. I'm on the same wavelength right now. Okay. With you. So we're absolutely agreeing on that. And it's important that we study that even more. It's important that we assess that and we look at frequencies. And I think there's a lot more to that than we think. And I think where this technology is tapping into new forces of the universe, something that we haven't discovered yet, maybe through some type of gravitational field or frequency or wave or something like that, and it amplifies it and gives access to interdimensional travel, time dilation, time travel. But we have a long way to go before we understand stuff like that.
Yeah. Right. Got one question for you before we go.
Yes.
So, did Luigi get to see the jet car, the Honda Civic that he stuck the engine in the back?
No, I never got to see the car. I never got to see the car. I swear, I wish if ever I find out, because I asked Bob and he says, who knows where it ended up? He goes, he had sold it at a certain point, but it was sold in parts at a certain point and then eventually got sold off. Yeah. So I would do anything to get my hands on the jet car.
Because that even if it didn't work, to have that part on your drive is just so cool.
Oh, I would do anything to get that
nothing
car.
Else.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's something that I wish I would be able to do to get is that jet car. I think it's the coolest car, ever.
But even though it was just like an old set, it reminded me of the Renault 5 GT Turbo.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what it looked like. Because when he said on the Civic, it's like they're a bit different over here than what they are in the US. Yeah. And then he just goes, I can get a jet engine in the back of that.
Yeah,
so I just took it and modified it.
He did 202 miles an hour in that.
Wow,
that's fast. That is fast.
That was what late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that was 1982.
Oh, early 80s. Wow.
Early 80s. Yeah, 1982.
So that's faster than fast for back in the day.
202 miles an hour. Yeah, that's fast. Oh, yeah. And I remember the Ferrari F40 in 1988 did 200 miles an hour. So that's fast. Yeah. It's very fast. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Luigi, for coming on.
My pleasure.
Absolutely
Thank you for having me on.
loved it. No, you ever want to come back on, just give me a shout.
Awesome.
We'll sort something out.
That's
So
great.
whenever your next movie or diecast models are coming on, you can
You'll hear
shameless
about
plug as much as you want.
I love it. I appreciate it very much, and I appreciate the whole audience watching. So yeah.
No, thank you, and thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you to Darren, Elaine, and Stephen for doing the moderating. I'm back on Monday where we're going to be talking to Martin Abbas, and again next Friday, even though I said I'm not doing Fridays anymore. We've got Jason Kenzie coming on, so that was only sorted out today, and we've got a few more names that are coming back as well. So please stay tuned. So massive thank you again. Absolutely appreciate everything you've done and the way you've worked it. Just mind blowing. It really is. If you haven't seen it, get Amazon Prime. Just type in S4 Bob Lazar, Luigi. Still can't pronounce your surname. Do apologize.
Luigi Vendittelli. Yeah,
Vendittelli.
I got to change that. I'll make it shorter.
It's only because. So my co-host Nicole, she's in New York. She's on a Wednesday. She's called Shiver Tony. So I keep getting your name and her name mixed up, and it's like it's too similar, and I can't say it without saying the other. So I do apologize. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, back on Monday, myself and Abby, we're talking to Martin and Richard. Myself and Nicole and Abby and possibly David on Wednesday, and then I said next Friday, myself and Jason Kenzie. Also with Canada, talking about Bigfoot and what he's going to be doing over the next few months. So that's it. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thanks again. We've hit over 1,000 subscribers now, so the numbers are going up. So thank you to every single one of you. And on that note, we're going to go. So take care. Have a great weekend. See you all soon. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
UFO files on the line, stacking up the facts in time. Guests keep coming through the door. One more story, then 10 more. Maps and clips on every page. Something strange in every age. Call it in, let it ring. Tell us what you saw, tell us everything. Alien!
Strange, they fight over colors, and they cover their bodies with plants and animals. They fear the unknown but seek it out. They destroy their own world for shiny rocks. Fascinating.
Alien, stay tuned in. I want the truth. Let it spin. Tell us what you saw, tell us everything. Alien, keep it alive. UFO files all night. Alien, stay tuned in. I want the truth. Let it spin. Midnight turns to morning rain. Still we circle back again. One more guest, one more name. Same bright signal, different frame. Alien 8, keep it alive. UFO files, all night. Alien 8, stay tuned in. I want the truth. Let it spin. 10 a.m., 18th of July, 2026. Ariel UK goes live for 24 hours with the UFO files.
Pattern recognition complete. Aether 8 online. Proceed.